Tiny, many people say that they would achieve a lot in their lives if they had much more money to start with. So is that true? Do you believe that's true? And how to find actually funds to start a business?
Okay, so small businesses, medium businesses, a few large businesses. I've had 56 different variations, so 56 different businesses in Canberra. Obviously this is one here in Serbia. I had a general rule for about 40 businesses. I would say to myself, okay, I'm going to take 1 day's pay, $200. And with that $200, I'm going to start a business. Okay, so I did it with about 40 businesses. 4 or 5 of them became extremely successful. And it's really your motivation. Everybody says you need a lot of money to start. No, you don't necessarily, unless you're starting up some big factory or something, you know, huge. It's also a risk. I mean, a lot of people might inherit a house or might have paid a house off and then they go and get a large mortgage on it so that they can start a business and things like that. It is very tricky. The way my principle is start with the least amount of money. But if you have to leave your job, your security and things like that to start something, that's an extremely big risk. That's an extremely big risk. When many years ago, I would come up with the most weirdest ideas in the world, you know. Tiny's wheelie bin cleaning, great. I started that, ended up being about 2 weeks and then I closed it down because all the wheelie bins were clean when they were new. So it took a year before you actually could start that business.
Tiny's ice cream.
Sorry?
Tiny's ice cream was
Yep, Tiny's ice cream. Yeah, the green shed ice cream, that was another one. But what I did do was that the businesses that I was running that were successful, I would then look at a new business and say, okay, it'll take me 6 months to save up. So I would then save up the money. In that 6 months period, I would learn everything I need to learn about that business, so forth, so forth, so forth. And then when I had the money, I could then say, okay, well, yes, it's a good idea, or no, there's too many people doing it, or bits and pieces. But I saved up the money. So my advice, if somebody's got a mortgage, got a job, bits and pieces, but wants to go into business, is get yourself a part-time job on the weekend. With that money, save it up for your business, okay? Then start it on the weekend, start it at night, start it whatever you may be doing. So keep your permanent job and your business. It's great. We all hear the success stories of, you know, this person left work, started a business, became, you know, financially independent, a millionaire by the time he was 40. That's 1 in every million. Okay? The real truth is that 90% of businesses fail in 5 years, okay? The ones that have extra pressure, where they still have to pay their mortgages, they still have to, you know, they've borrowed money. So if you go into a business that it doesn't matter whether you lose or win, okay, nothing's gonna happen because you've saved up the money. Okay, you've saved up the money, you've tried it, it didn't work, you still got your job, you still got your security. You know, people talk about not having, Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of the big ones who says, okay, don't have a plan B, okay? In his life that works, okay? In my life that doesn't work, because the thing that you need to do if you're a family man, you need to make sure that this is covered. Your house expenses, this is safe, okay? This business stuff is great, and your goals and all the other bits and pieces, okay? That's great to do it, but don't take part of this, okay? Don't take mortgages on your house, don't do this. Accountants will say, yes, it's a tax deduction, bits and pieces. It's a tax deduction, great, if you're making a lot of money. If you're not making a lot of money, all you've got now is a debt for another 20 years. So you might be 10 years to finish off your mortgage, you've remortgaged your house, you've started a business, the business didn't go well, you've gone back to your job, but now you've got 30 years. So imagine how you feel after that 10 years where you say, now I've got another 20-year sentence, okay? I've got to spend another 20 years paying off my mistake. Save up for the business, okay? Find ways of working weekends. You'll know whether you're passionate about your goals, your long-term goals, because you will work on the weekends to establish a business so then you can have your long-term goals. So once again, those long-term goals, the whys have to be there to push you to save money, to start a business, understand what you need to do some learning in the meantime. For that 6 months, it could be 12 months. It could be a very small business. It might only take you a month to save up for whatever. My first business was window cleaning, AAA window cleaning. It was $60. Well, so for $60, I started my own first little business.
What did you buy?
I bought 20 litres of shampoo, which was the window cleaning. I bought a squeegee, an applicator, a bucket, and a ladder for $60, and that was it. And so, and the other thing is, I'd go door knocking. Hi, I'm in the area. Would you like your windows cleaned? No, thanks. Next. Then I had a little routine. People wanted it done every 6 months, and so with that, I saved up enough money for AAA carpet cleaning. So I bought a carpet cleaning machine. So then you save up enough money, but in the meantime, you're still having the security and making sure that your house mortgage is paid, all your other stuff at home is paid, and then you can continue on with doing it. Yes, looking back at it, it might have taken me a lot longer, but I didn't risk anything. That's the thing is, high risk, high reward type thing. But once again, 90% of businesses fail. So if you invest, let's say it in today's terms, $500,000, you put it on your mortgage, you've got 90% chance that you're going to lose that. No matter how good you are, the state of the economy, all of that. Motivational speakers and business coaches, the number one coach in the world is Anthony Robbins. When you do his training course, he is the number one guy, okay? When 100 people do his training course, his 2 weeks intensive training course in Fiji, the success rate of that course is 1%.
Wow.
That's 1%. So 1% of those people will leave that course, start their businesses, and be very successful. The other 99 will not.
What would you say is the reason for that?
Boils down to how strong your goals are, your real goals are. How many little baby birds are you feeding? How much work are you putting in? All that sort of stuff. So it's like this big cake. You have to get all the ingredients almost perfect, okay, to get the cake, spot on. And so that's what I mean. That's what, in a sense, scares me when people say to me, I want to start this business. I said, why? Tell me give me all your ingredients. Give me the whys, give me the hows, give me, what you're going to do. What's your objections? What's your past failures? I had a wonderful guy work for me for 2 or 3 years where he had so much potential, but he got burnt many years ago. And it took me quite a long time to actually get him to sort of say, okay, you're the cat that jumped on the hot stove, okay? Let's get back. Let's get you back on track. Let's get you jumping on a cold stove. And it took him a little bit of time, but then once he was right, it was just like once he started again, he said, "Shit, I should have done that years ago." Just sort of going. But yeah, that's the thing. It's so many. It's your whole ingredients, but going back to your goals, that's what's going to basically give you the hand up. And if you've got 10 goals there, you've got 10 people up there or 10 things up there that are basically saying, okay, come on, get off your bum. You need to get back to work. Yes, you failed today. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Come on, what did you learn? And just to keep that motivation there is what you want to achieve and why you want to achieve it. Some of the time it could be just to show your kids, the path. A lot of the time with fathers especially, I'm pretty cruel with fathers. I basically say to them, okay, the kids are going to copy and paste you. Does that excite you or does that scare you? And 99% of the fathers say that scares me. I said, well, you need to do something about it, okay? You need to do something about that, because if it scares you, in 30 years' time, when your kids are your age, okay, and they're copying and pasting you, you're going to look at it and you're going to probably find some really good excuse why the kids aren't doing it. But at the end of the day, it's our job as fathers to basically go, okay, this is the path. And to be honest with the kids, to be honest with them, to say, listen, you know, this business I'm not too sure about. I'm not sure about my own, you know, how good I am, blah, blah, blah. But I've saved up 6 months, and if I do fail in it, it's not going to hurt the family. So that's one of the big things that fathers have got to do and people got to do. And yes, there's many single mums out there or single parents out there. It is. It's your responsibility. That could be enough as your, you know, big goal. That could be enough for that. I mean, so that's what you've got to decide, you know, in life. You know, what's gonna help me all the time, you know, when things are going bad. So yeah, so it's this sort of pool of this soup or this cake, you know, all the ingredients have to be there. But once again, going back to the thing is, don't get yourself into debt, all right, over a business, okay? Don't get yourself into a debt. Work it out. You know, if you've been in business 30 years, 40 years, you already know the system. You know, if you've got 10 businesses or 2 businesses that are going well, you can risk, you know, starting something new or bits and pieces, but you've already got the experience. If you've been in business that long, you're pretty much right, you know, with it. So